Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of your Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for my weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead Season 9, of course, that aired last night. Oh my god, this is going to be for the second last episode, episode 15, which is called The Calm Before, and man, was this not a calm episode whatsoever. So, really, all I want to say here is spoiler warning if you have not seen this episode yet, because I don't want to ruin this for you. This is a huge episode for the Walking Dead television series, probably the most death-heavy episode of the entire series, so I don't want to spoil anything for you. So if you haven't seen the episode, get out right now, please. I don't want to spoil this for you at all. So, that said, that established, let's get into this absolutely mind-blowing episode of The Walking Dead. We're going to do the usual, of course, just real quick. What was my favorite part of this episode? The Pike scene, I think, you know. My favorite character from the episode would be probably Alpha, just mainly because of how crazy she was in this episode, especially with the herd and stuff, and sneaking into the fair. Alpha really was a good character in this episode, and mainly because of that, I really enjoyed Alpha's character in this one. So write down in the comment section below, what was your favorite part of the episode, what was your favorite character, and why. Now, we have to talk about who dies first before we get into the episode itself. Now, in terms of this episode, in terms of the deaths, it was spoiled for me about a day or two ago, which I was very angry with because I wanted to go into this episode not knowing who would die, but I unfortunately did find out. Now, in terms of which death was probably, what death really impacted the audience the most from what I'm seeing, honestly, I'm seeing Tara a lot right now. In terms of Tara, I think her time was up. I really do. I think that, honestly, I feel like in the last 2-3 years, they've kind of been struggling with her character a bit, not really sure what to do with her after, she brought in Oceanside. After that, most of Season 7, Season 8, and even Season 9 a little bit, she kind of hasn't had much to do. Season 9, though, she has done a good few things at Hilltop, but we haven't seen much of her, and I feel like it was her time. Now, was she the most shocking death to see? In my opinion, no, I don't think so. For me, when I heard the spoiler, the one I was the most shocked about was Henry, because Henry is a character that was taking Comic Carl's storyline, and to have Lydia go on without him now, it's going to be very different from the comic book series version. Now, in terms of Enid, I didn't expect that one either, but I kind of did at the same time, because it's like, Enid doesn't have much to do either right now, and that's the thing about these deaths. I kind of feel like they chose the characters, that they didn't know what to do. Like Tara, like Henry, because Henry already fulfilled Comic Carl's part. So he's like, alright, what else do we do with him? I guess we'll have to kill him off. He could be one of the big deaths. And he was, So in terms of the three, Enid, Tara, and Henry, which are the big ones, I would have to say Henry got me the most, then Enid, and then maybe Tara. Just my opinion is simply just how I think about it. Now, in terms of the others, we have some Highwaymen people, we have Tammy, we have Addie, we have that other kid or whatever, forget his name, and then of course we have, let's see here, a few, like I said, a few Highwaymen, and just a few other characters. Oh, and one of Negan's wives was one of them as well, too. So, yeah, in terms of the deaths, I'm pretty happy with it for the most part, even though I feel like maybe some of them weren't needed. I counted 10 in total, which, honestly, that's fine. In the comics, they did 12. For this episode, though, I think this episode was crazy enough, and I really do think that this episode is one of the best episodes this season. Now, in terms of the rest of the episode, so we have, of course, the beginning of the episode with the couple, which Alpha kills them both and takes the hat and the hair and goes into the fair, and the dress, and of course goes into the fair later on and disguises herself and all that kind of stuff to sneak into the fair. Now, in terms of that opening scene, I did like it, of course, Alpha being really clever, and, I really do like how they handled that. Now, Then we have, of course, the fair. We have Ezekiel with the speech, of course. We have also Eugene with the radio in this one, which we're going to have to see. There's been some theories going around about the season finale that I really do like. And if anybody watches Make a Path Presents by Ronnie Hayes, he made a video about the finale about the radio, and he has an awesome theory that I really hope comes true. It is related to a certain character that is not in the series anymore, and I'm sure you guys can already tell. If you've seen the video by Ronnie Hayes at the Make a Path Presents channel, he made a video a few days ago, a theory about the finale. It's the bombshell video on his channel, he called it. So just check out that video. You'll know what I'm talking about. I think there's a theory for the finale when it comes to Eugene with the radio that I really, really like. So we're going to have to see if that's true or not. Now, because it would be a good ending for the season. Just watch Ronnie Hayes' bombshell for the finale video. It's a thumbnail with Rick and Michonne. So I kind of just confirmed what it was, but it's a thumbnail with Rick and Michonne. It's not hard to find. It's on his channel. So, yeah. And he makes a lot of Walking Dead videos, too, so I figured I would kind of throw that in there. But, yeah. So, yeah, Eugene with the radio, of course. We have Rosita, who was going to go lay down, but she wanted to talk to Eugene or whatever about this whole thing about, Sadiq and Gabriel and her and Eugene and all that kind of stuff. So we have that, of course. We have some of the stuff at the fair. We have Judith seeing Carol for not the first time, but since she was really little, so that's pretty cool. We have the fair, of course, with, Jerry. We have all the stuff going on with Judith at the fair. We have Henry kind of trying to get Lydia to kind of blend in. We have the movie, of course, and then Daryl and the others leave. Now, I do like when Daryl asks Connie to feed his dog, so that's cool. So, yeah, maybe a relationship between the two. Something that, has been talked about for sure. So we have that, of course. And in terms of Daryl and all the others, they were the ones that went out. And they made us think they were going to be the ones that have a lot of casualties or whatever, but no, it's actually the people at the fair that were killed and captured by Alpha. So the sequence with Alpha and Ezekiel I found to be really, really cool. And I like how she was like, it's going to be a hard winter, And it's like, oh my god, she's setting up Season 10 just by those lines. So, will they have the winter in Season 10? Probably not. I don't think they're going to be able to do it, but at least for this finale, have a snowstorm, have some whispers, all that kind of, I think we need to see that for the finale. Now, in terms of the characters that died in the comic, which was, I can say it now because they didn't die, Rosita was one of the heads in the comics, and Ezekiel. Both survived. We heard that Ezekiel was going to be leaving in Season 9, most likely. We only have one episode left this season, so unless that's totally false information, I feel like they're going to do a Glenn type thing where it's like, okay, it's Abraham, he was the one that died, it's different from the comics, because in the comics, Glenn got his head bashed in, right? I feel like because Ezekiel survived his comic storyline and not being ahead on the pike, they're going to do a Glenn approach. You think Glenn is safe because Abraham got the bat, and then boom, Ezekiel in the finale's killed. I feel like that's what they're doing, but I could be totally wrong, for sure. But anyway, just a theory at this point. So we have that, of course. We have all of the characters at the fair, of course. We have just a few scenes here, and then of course we also have Alpha at the movies. So basically, Lydia says that she's kind of like a screamer at this point. She's not a whisperer, and Alpha's like, you were never one of us. So, of course, Lydia pretty much at this point has fully joined with our group when she stands up to her mother or whatever and saying, no, these are my people now, you go, or you will get yourself killed. It's that simple. So, having the guts to say that to her own mom is pretty that's something for sure. I gotta give her that. But I mean, Alpha treated her like crap, really. So, it's honestly, it's understandable for sure. But we have all that stuff, of course, and then Daryl, Carol, Michonne, and Yumiko are all captured by the Whispers. So Daryl, of course, is taken with Alpha to see what is the Mega Herd. Now, in the comics, this was Rick, and I really think that they actually did a good job of having it be Daryl. Now, the herd itself is really cool. I really like that scene, and I really liked how it looked and all that kind of stuff. And it's set up, too, because people that read the comics in the Whisper War, you guys know what's coming when it comes to that herd. So yeah, that's going to be some fun stuff, of course, next year probably when we see that herd actually used by the Whispers against our survivors, which is going to be really, really cool to see next year. Yeah, so of course, on their way out, they see Sadiq, who was captured, of course, and, kind of spared, I guess, and of course, they walk up, and the deaths. Now, we already talked about that, but man, just to say, that was one of the most brutal scenes ever, especially, they were all zombified too, and you could see their mouths moving, and oh man, the eyes and stuff, oh. It was pretty brutal, man. It was really brutal to see through, and of course, as Sadiq comes back and kind of tells them that, hey, before they died, they all fought together. They fought for each other. Most of them didn't even know one another, but they still fought for each other. So, we can't all split up again. The communities are one, not separate. We all signed that together, and that's it. These people died for us to all be one group, not tons of separate groups. So obviously that's set up for the Whisper War to have all the communities come together and fight the Whispers in Season 10. So yeah, Sadiq's speech for sure was really, really cool. Now, of course, we have the snow at the end where Daryl and, Lydia are, of course, at the pikes or whatever. They took the heads off as well, and you can see the snow starting to fall. So, finale, of course, we're going to get to see some snow. Super excited to see that, man. That's going to be really, really cool to see. Write your comments below about this brutal episode, but I mean, man, in terms of the deaths, it was a crazy episode, man, and I just, where do we go from here after all this, man, really? I really don't know, because this is just an amazing episode. So, anyway, one of the best of the season, I think. Just wow. This season has been amazing. In my opinion, the best season Walking Dead has done. My opinion, just simply my opinion, but I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinions. But of course, we have one episode left, The Storm. I will be back with my predictions right after this, probably an hour or so after this. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys for the predictions for the season finale of The Walking Dead Season 9.